All right, good evening, everyone. It is Friday, made it to the end of the work week, but as always, we've still got so much left to do. We're not even going to mess around with it. So enjoy your evening, enjoy the break from the regular 9 to 5, your regular day hustle, your daily grind. Get away from that. Now let's kick it into that weekend hustle, weekend grind. A lot to do, 2 days and 3 evenings, tonight included. So let's make it happen. Let's make some magic this weekend. But before we get there, we've got to do this show. This show is Let's Have a Chat for Friday, September 20th, 2019. Wow, it's fall. And you know what happens tomorrow? Remember, the 21st night of September. That's right. Okay, you remember that song, Earth, Wind, and Fire. That's right. September by Earth, Wind, and Fire. Check it out if you haven't heard it. And tomorrow night is that night that they talk about in that song. So get that done, get that taken care of. Alrighty, so here we are. It is Friday, and in Forbes Friday, that's our topic for today. That's what we talk about. That's what we live for the weekend, to the end of the week. There we go. No, we don't live for it. But again, ripped from the headlines, the .com, the magazine, the newsletters, the whole 9 yards, folks. Just stop in there. It's quality stuff, really quality stuff. The bias, not really there. It lets you decide. They just tell you the facts, and then you figure out for yourself what you extrapolate from there. So that's what I like about it. So moving on. And let's see, what are we talking about? Oh, yes. Antonio Brown at it again. Remember him? I talked about him, Mr. Helmet Gate, Mr. Get Me Out of Oakland, Mr. I just signed with the New England Patriots. And I did say, I wonder how long that'll last. Well, guess what? It didn't last very long. He's gone. The New England Patriots have released him. They released him based on his latest shenanigans, the story that's coming out, the sexual assault, and however it plays itself out, he's done. I really don't think playing NFL football, unless he's completely exonerated, and he can come back and say, I told you so, then that's a different thing. But for the most part, he is done playing football until all of this gets resolved one way or the other. And like I said, if it all comes out as fault, it all just comes out as somebody's just upset, wants to make a little money, then, he can say, I told you so. But between now and then, he's got to answer those charges. He's got to face the music. He has to, step up and address these concerns, these issues, and these problems that he's facing now in the real world. So what happens next? Well, now New England has to, pick it up and fill in that blank. Perry, he did. He was a pretty good player. He played for that one game, the first game, and now, we're here into the next week, and he's done. But now they got to fill in that shoes. But I don't think they have to worry. I mean, they totally routed Miami, and they just destroyed them. So, but we'll see what goes on. We'll see what happens. We're going to keep moving forward, and we'll see what happens there. But on the other side, financially for Antonio Brown, now Nike has cut ties with the New England Patriots wide receiver Antonio Brown after he was accused of raping his former personal trainer. So now Nike has pulled the plug on that money and said, hey, no more. The well is run dry. And Nike just has a way of picking people, and pick me. I'm good. I'm solid with that. I'll take some shoes. Send some shoes this way, Nike. I have no problem. I'll promote you. But it's what does an organization like that do? Same thing with the New England Patriots. They have to cut ties. And again, who does that affect? Well, it affects those that are looking up to Antonio Brown. It affects those that Nike was marketing to based on Antonio Brown, and which would be the football shoes. And they'll adjust to. They'll find the next person, and they'll find somebody else to attach to and market and sell their product and promote their product. Again, I volunteer for that, so don't count me out, Nike. Alrighty, so we'll see what comes of that. Also, Colt armature, or Colt, the manufacturer of the AR-15, the civilian version of the military M16. Okay, the M16. It's two totally different pieces of equipment. Okay, so understand that. But the civilian version, the AR-15, they're going to stop because they say demand has, it's gone down. And so we'll see what happens. We'll stop producing rifles for the consumer market due to weak demand. The move comes as scrutiny mounts over its popular AR-15 gun rifle. and its use in several mass shooting incidents. And again, it's a semi-automatic weapon. That means that every time you pull the trigger, it fires a round. It's not an automatic where you just hold it and you fire. That's the M16, M16. Okay, that's the comparable version. Okay, now there's the M4 and all that. I get that, so don't start with me. But what I'm saying is, those are automatic weapons. Therefore, they're military-grade weapons. They're made for the military. They're made for military use. The AR-15, pull the trigger, one shot at a time. Okay, so that's the difference. That's the difference. It's not a military weapon, and it's not a gun. A gun is a howitzer, 155 millimeter howitzer. Shoots a projectile, high explosive projectile up to several kilometers. You could be in a different zip code and that thing will land someplace else. Okay, so again, that's a gun. A howitzer is a gun. This is a rifle. It's two different things again. So that's up to them. We'll see what the fallout is, but they're going to continue making the pistols, the handguns, the pistol, handgun. Okay. Alrighty. What else have we got? A Missouri man in his mid-40s became the 8th U.S. death linked to vaping-related lung disease. He had taken up vaping in May, just in May of this year, to treat chronic pain. Wow. So I was just talking to my wife about this, and this is like one of those double-edged swords. It's negative for vaping, but it's a positive in the side of, maybe let's look at other treatments for chronic pain, that it makes the point for chronic pain treatment. So, it's that double-edged sword. Again, the kids, well, that falls on the parents. I saw this report earlier today. This kid, he's in a coma. They think he's not in a coma, my apologies. He's in the hospital. His lung is beyond, the doctors are saying it's beyond repair. It normally takes about 6 months for the lung to repair itself. They're saying at this point, because of vaping and the little chemical tar kind of sticky stuff that's the residue, the damage is done. He can't do it. And the parents are saying, well, he wanted to get into the military. He wanted to do this. He wanted to do that. Well, now it looks like he can't get into the military because, again, he's not at that lung capacity. The parent, the father said that the doctor came in and told him that, something has to happen because the lung capacity, the oxygen in his blood, he has seen more oxygen in the blood of a dead person. So that's crazy, but that's what happens to folks. That falls on the parents. That's my opinion. That falls on the parents, especially, you got your kids and you think, oh, it's vaping, it's cool, it's fun, it's simple. They're not smoking a cigarette. No, they're not, but they might as well be just smoking, the entire pack at the same time, the entire carton at the same time. And even then, they're still getting more. So it's a double-edged sword. It's a fine line. Again, at what point do you say, okay, well, I know you got to raise your kids the way you believe to raise them, and you got to do what you got to do. But at some point, you know what? The long-term effects, now they're starting to come out. And, this guy started in May, and here we are at the other end of summer, and there we go. So it is a fine line, but it's neither here nor there. Alrighty, what else have we got today? Tadashi Yane, a Japanese billionaire of Uniqlo fame, has become the latest business leader to express concerns about Brexit and its impact on the British economy and the business environment. Oh, most certainly it will impact across the board, but it's got to take place. How bad will it impact? Will it be a long-lasting, or will it just be one of those initial shockwaves and that's it? Just so everybody gets adjusted. It's kind of like when the D-Mark in Germany and the Eastmark in Germany reunified, 30 years ago. There was some well, is it going to be, they equalized it right away. They made it all balanced out, 1 for 1. Back when I was there, it was like 3 to 1. 3 Eastmarks made 1 Westmark, but it was 14 Eastmarks to 1 American dollar. So, the dollar ruled over there back then, but it equalized. As soon as the wall fell down, they said, no, we can't have this currency influx. It can't be crazy. And then they went ahead and fixed it. But it was stable. They took care of business. I do see that's what's going to happen with Brexit. Once it actually kicks off, fires off, there'll be an initial shockwave, but it'll settle down and they're back to it. So we'll see what happens. Well, folks, that's enough talking. That's enough yammering. That's enough chatter. That's enough for me for this week. I will be back on Monday. We'll talk sports and leadership. Let's see what the weekend brings us. I know it's a lot of sport events this weekend. We still have baseball getting ready to get into the postseason, and we have NFL and a lot of other things. Hockey's getting ready to ramp up, so let's get ready for that too. Alrighty, and basketball. Oh yeah, basketball. And that's just here in the States. Alrighty, everyone else, have a great evening. Have a great rest of your Friday evening. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and also follow me on Instagram. Let me know you saw the show, and we'll talk then. Until next time, have a good one. Take care. Peace. Dave out.